Hey guys, you're about to meet the unknown ninja master of the guitar pedal world. He's literally changed history in the pedal industry with his designs, his pedals, and simply what he does on a daily basis. Not only that, we're going to give away 3 of his most popular pedals. So this is actually probably the most amazing spot.
the dune of pedals, or pedal dune.
This is a man who looks at everything, tries everything, changes everything.
The Bonamassa Museum.
Oh, wonderful.
And just prototypes.
I like the effect pedals.
They're usually prototypes.
I like the old MXRs. Oh my.
That's a never released MXR product.
Oh my.
That never came out. I found that in a bin of old MXR stuff in a storage locker.
So you made the Eric Johnson fuzz face.
Yes, I spent 6 years with Eric developing this. And that's the approved color and final sort of one when 2011. I think we started working on it in 2006. So not quite 6 years, I guess. This is a lot of fun. Billy wanted a Octavio. He was using an Octavio. He was using an EQ to sort of kind of do that. We decided we'll give him the whole 9 yards and put it all in the big package. And this is the one he signed for me.
That's so great. Billy Gibbons custom Octavia with EQ.
So Sweetwater is sponsoring this video. They've given us 3 pedals to give away. I'm going to box them up and ship them to whoever wins. So click the link below for the contest and win the 3 pedals. So this is pretty awesome. 2 original Univives sitting on an old Marshall. I like that. This is where you actually get the sounds, isn't it?
This is where I test stuff and experiment.
Yeah. You're actually kind of a Strat aficionado.
I like Strat.
Yeah. Vending machine. Good idea.
Eventually that's
dangerous.
Going to be a video. So
Super Fuzz. I had one of those. I remember when I got it. I was so excited.
The red and blue one?
Yeah.
Really?
I was 12, maybe?
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Here are delay pedals that you have worked on.
That's correct. That's a nice little pile.
And the Echo Park is something I still use to this day. Thank you for that.
You can thank Angelo Mazzocco of Marist.
Okay, all right.
In 1998, I started at Line 6. They started developing the DL4, and I took over as product manager. And this is beta number 1.
Woo!
The DL4. We kicked this thing around, and still works. And then this is a very early proto of a carbon copy.
Yeah.
So these are just some cool vintage stuff.
You developed the carbon copy
for
MXR.
Yeah. Bob Cedros and I.
Man, that green Line 6, I depended on that for a long time.
Yeah, they're cool.
Jeorge was instrumental in the creation of a lot of Line 6's most important effects. He always shares credit. He always mentions names of the people who worked with him. So I had all 4 of those 4-button pedals. I had the DL4, the MM4, the FM4, and the DM4. Jeorge and Line 6 created rack versions of all these pedals. They called them the Filter Pro, the Mod Pro, and the Delay Pro. I had all of them. So did the Edge from U2. He was using all the pedals and all the rack stuff. The Edge asked them to make the one rack effect that was not part of the series. He wanted a rack version of the 4-button DM4, the distortion modeler. I remember this. This was the one-off that you made for the Edge because he asked for it.
Yeah, basically the Line 6, where there's a team of us that worked after hours to build a dozen or so of these for the Edge. And this is a proto panel because Tom Anderson laser etched, custom made for the Edge into a handful, and this is the one he practiced on.
Oh my. So if you want guitar lessons, click the link below and take the 14-day free trial on the Masterclass. We are up to over 150 hours, 1,800 videos. There's a brand new 100-video beginner's course and the free trial. If you don't... Then with the free trial, you can just opt out if it's not right for you. My friend up there. Well, that pedal looks familiar somehow. Can you say anything?
The tone is out there.
Okay. Fair enough.
Everyone's obsessed with this pedal. It's the Klon Centaur. This supposedly has mystical diodes that you can only find in an elvish paradise or something. Now, my favorite versions of this on the market are the Centura. This is cool. It's by Seriatone. The Archer by Rocket. The Wampler Tumnus. The Joyo Torrent. My favorite, and the one I'm going to play, is the Way Huge Conspiracy Theory. I think it came out this year. I don't know. This year's been a little crazy. I've lost track of things. I'm not even sure that it still is this year, but we're going to play this, and I think you'll like it.
Here, Jeorge talks about his association and friendship and collaboration with Eddie Van Halen. All of us in LA knew where Eddie lived. We would drive by the driveway that led up to 5150. And I remember I used to work at a house with a songwriter that was directly on the hill above 5150. It was right off Mulholland. And I would go out in the backyard and Eddie would open the door to the studio and you'd hear this crazy lead guitar playing through the monitors after he did a take. It was pretty awesome. So Jeorge would go up to Eddie's house and help him with stuff. They were good friends.
Really, the first time I worked with Ed was at Line 6. We worked on this little guitar that we built a pod. I was the lead and I got to go up there and it was just me and Ed all day long up at 5150. And I'm guessing that guitar, which we did finish, is still up there somewhere. So it was a little like mini Wolfgang with a pod built in it and a little digital voice recorder so he could record his riffs.
Then you worked with Eddie after that a lot.
On Dunlop stuff.
Yeah.
We worked on projects and we go up there. So yeah, good stuff. Bob Cedro did all the electrical design on these and worked with Ed. He was also did the majority of the design work for Rockman.
Oh,
He worked with Tom. So Bob's a legend.
very cool. This is one of my favorite overdrives. Absolutely.
It's quite useful and sweet. My idea for them was your pedal board's packed and you need to add something, overdrive, phase shifter, compressor, fuzz, something, and you can fit it in there.
So another monster guitar player, in fact, one of the biggest in the world, Joe Bonamassa, relies on Jeorge for a lot. They're great friends. Joe Bonamassa is not only the hardest working man in show business, he's also the nicest man in show business. I can attest to that. Here's how Jeorge and Joe got started.
He was rehearsing next door, and I was like, hey, and we just started talking about fuzz faces, and I was working on the Eric Johnson fuzz face, and I had a suitcase full of rejects. And I was like, here, try these out, see what you kind of dig. And up there's a piece of gaff tape that says, how much for the blue one? And I'm like, it's yours. That's sort of how we started working together.
And you work with Joe all the time, don't you?
Yeah, Joe's a delight.
So Jeorge and I met in the early 90s, maybe 1990, when I started doing sessions every day, became full-time. He was employed by the Cartage company, Andy Brower, and they would bring my gear to every session and cart it away. And Jeorge was one of the guys that I met and that I really liked, and he would bring in the gear and set it up, and that's how we met. We've been friends ever since. So tell the story about how we met. You used to work for the company that actually moved my gear, my big rig, my rack in the early 90s.
Refrigerator rack.
Refrigerator rack. Yeah.
I worked at Andy Brower's Cartage, and I would cart your gear around, and you were always really nice to the stupid kids that were rolling this stuff around.
So people and their pedals, Jeorge, you have a theory about why people buy certain pedals and what they want from them.
Well, I think that a lot of people, especially early in their musical career, aren't really trying to be themselves. Granted, a lot of people are, but most people are, they're looking at their heroes and they're trying to attain that sound. And so they're gravitating towards effects and pedals and things that their heroes use. I did the same thing. So at a certain point, I think you graduate and start kind of reaching and looking for your own sound. And that's hard.
I guess that's what you try and do, though. You make pedals that make the guitar do something, but it's not necessarily based on sounding like Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I do a little bit of all of it.
Okay.
It kind of depends. So pedals are market driven. So I've made my share of tube screamers.
Hey, a lot of you are not subscribed. Click the subscribe button and ring the bell. That lets us let you know every time there's a new video.